Hello, it's Alistair from Bedford Borough Council. Sorry I can't be with you today. I work for the council as part of the sustainable travel team. We work with schools and businesses and communities to try and encourage more sustainable travel around Bedford and the villages around it. That means walking, cycling, scooting, catching the bus and the train. So here I am on the screen to talk to you about your journeys to school. I want you to be able to travel to school the way you want to, and in ways that are good for the environment, so ideally walking and cycling to school. And I know most of you actually get the bus to school, so for you we can think of ideas of how best you can fit active travel into your day. It's also Road Safety Week this week, so we're also going to think about how you can stay safe and when you're close to the roads. Active travel is when we move our bodies when we make our journeys, so we get some exercise. So walking, scooting and cycling is active travel, but sitting in the back of a car is not. I'm sure you can think of some reasons why active travel is a good idea. Hands up and give your teachers some suggestions. Perhaps you mentioned, it's good for my health, it's good for the environment, and it doesn't create air pollution. Here are some other good reasons. It doesn't cost me any money. It's sometimes quicker when I take cut-throughs. It's fun, and it's something I can do with my friends. It's social and we can have fun together. But here's something else, and a bit of science. Scientists have been studying brain waves in children after they've been sitting down and after they've been doing some activity. This picture shows you a comparison of a young person's brain after 20 minutes of activity in comparison to 20 minutes of sitting down. It shows an MRI scan, which stands for magnetic resonance imaging. MRI machines use magnetic fields and radio waves to monitor brain activity, and you can see much more brain activity in the person who has been active. So what that means is that if you walk or cycle to school, you'll arrive fresh and ready to learn. If you come in the car, you might have to run around the playground a few times. In 20 minutes, we can easily walk 1 mile, and in 40 minutes, 2 miles. Take a look at Google Maps when you get a chance to see how far away from school you live. In fact, taking a look at this map, you can see where is less than a 20-minute walk away. And when we go out further, a 40-minute walk, so including Marston and Houghton Conquest, although there's a busy road to cross if you come from Houghton Conquest. And we can easily cycle 5 miles in 30 minutes. This shows you how far you can get from on your bike in half an hour. While most of these places have busy roads that are not fun to cycle on, there are off-road and quiet routes in from Marston and Wootton. So you might want to try walking or cycling to school once or twice, even if you usually catch the bus. Perhaps later in the school year in spring when the weather is better. It's less muddy and it's lighter. Don't forget to find a friend who you can walk or cycle with. In fact, we are biologically designed for walking, travelling at 3 or 4 miles per hour. Our eyes and ears and the ability to take in and understand the environment around us is optimised at that speed. This is because of the way we evolved. Once we get beyond fast running speed, maybe 12 miles per hour, we lose that ability to maintain eye contact with others, which starts to make environments feel unsafe and confusing. For example, if there's fast moving traffic around. That is why it's best if around schools we can try and keep car traffic to a maximum of 20 miles per hour. Actually, running can be a really good way of getting to school too, especially if we're running late. Active travel, walking and cycling, is the best choice for the environment. We've heard a lot about that recently with the COP26 event in Glasgow, where world leaders are trying to come up with agreements to ensure we all have a future. Climate change is a massive global issue, and we can often feel powerless or at a loss as to how we can act. 27%, over 1/4 of the UK's total carbon dioxide emissions come from transport. Also, exhausts have lots of other yucky stuff such as nitrogen dioxide, particulates, heavy metals, carbon monoxide and other toxic gases which can make conditions like asthma worse and really affect both young and old people. If we have options, we can stop this with a single choice. So if you can and when you can, travel sustainably instead. Active travel can help build our independence and confidence too. It's a decision we can make ourselves, something we can do ourselves. If you can make short journeys to school on your own or with friends, you can feel more confident about planning longer journeys using the bus or train to places like Bedford or Milton Keynes. If we start doing this now, we can plan to make trips for university or work, or even when we're older to go onto holiday with our friends. Lots of you come on the bus, and often from places that are hard to walk and cycle from. If you come on the bus, don't forget you can fit an active lifestyle elsewhere in the day. Don't forget to walk to your bus stop. Perhaps go for a bike ride at the weekend. If you have a dog, take it for a walk and agree to meet friends at a local park. At the start and the end of the school day, it can get a bit busy around Stuartby. That makes it difficult for everyone. The less cars we get outside the schools, the safer it would be for everyone. We don't want lanes blocked off so that buses can't get through, or even emergency response vehicles if there's a problem nearby. So if you are ever driven to school, ask your parents to do any of the following. Drop you off at a friend's house. That way you can walk the rest of the way in with them together. They could drop you off a bit further away from the school and you can park and stride. This can help you build your independence a little bit and your brain gets a bit of fresh air before school. Also, do think about car sharing with another family. While we're on the subject of safety, it is Road Safety Week this week. This is where people throughout the country are thinking about how roads could be made safer for everyone. This year's theme is Road Safety Heroes, where we think about people who help us stay safe on the roads. Can you think of people that help others to stay safe on your journey to school? Perhaps you too can help people stay safe, friends or younger brothers and sisters, and you can be a road safety hero too. When the buses arrive at school in the mornings, do have a think about the problems the drivers might have. Actually, for larger vehicles, there are such things as blind spots where people in certain places around the bus cannot be seen. The driver is high up, so it's hard to see right in front of the bus. Also, down the passenger side of the bus, and also where there are bits of metal frame on the bus. It's good to know about these so we can stay safe. If you are catching the bus back home in a few minutes, why not ask your driver about the blind spots on their bus? I'm sure you have heard all about it before, about stop, look and listen and so on. Just to reinforce that, this is how our brains take in information. Our ears pick up ambient sounds that our eyes can respond to. The more we use our eyes, the more information our brain gets and the better decisions it can make. It's important that we make good decisions by the road as traffic might be coming. We need to think about what we are looking for. It's not cars, but the people in the cars or buses. They have eyes too. And if we can make eye contact with those drivers, we know they have seen us and they know we have seen them and we are communicating. That's how we all stay safe. We can all make good decisions. We can easily get distracted by our phones, or we might want to listen to music. Using our ears might be the first sign that something is happening. So if we are by the roads, why not pop an ear pod out so you can always pop it back in when you're away from the road. Also, wait until you are in a safe space before checking on your notifications on the phone. Don't try and walk and talk, or even cycle and talk, as this adds distraction. Find a safe space to relax and use your phone away from the road. If you ride a bike, it's good to challenge yourself with tricks and skills, but we also need to think about the right place and time to be doing this. If we are riding no-handed, we can't stop the bike quickly if we need to. Wheelies and manuals mean only one bike wheel is on the ground, which affects stopping in an emergency. Also, you are focusing on keeping your front wheel in the air, not on what is around you. So obviously the right place is not on the road. What about the paths? The problem there is that there are older and younger people who might be intimidated by what you are doing, even if you think you're in control. Some of the grassy areas around Stuart be a much better place to push your limits, where there's not as many people around. As it's winter time, mornings and afternoons might be tricky times to be travelling. The sun might be low, which makes visibility hard, as it can be in our eyes. If it's been raining, it can reflect on the surfaces. Leaves can make things slippy, and so can ice. So what if we're doing after school clubs or arriving extra early, light levels might be low and it'll be getting dark. When you get a chance, take a look at your coats and bags. Some might have reflective detailing on them to help you be visible. This can help, but we're not suggesting lighting up like a big Christmas tree or having a massive high-vis jacket like a highways engineer. That's unless you want to and you think it makes you feel safe. It's important to remember that road safety is not just your responsibility, it is everyone's. It frustrates me when young people are told that they have to dress super brightly when it gets dark, and that it's their fault if they don't and something bad happens. This is called victim blaming. So long as we are using our eyes and being aware, even when light levels are low, it is also important that those people moving around in their cars are using their eyes and being aware too. They are most definitely also responsible for keeping people safe around them. And that's why it's much better if we keep the space around the school as traffic free as possible. So if you know someone who parks there, why not ask them to park a little bit further away from the school instead? Many of you are not as tall as adults, and think about your younger brothers and sisters. It's harder for them to see and be seen because they are lower down, especially when lots of parked up cars are obstructing the sight lines and when some of them are really big SUV vehicles. Do have a think about your journeys. Where do you feel safe? Where do you think it's not so safe? Can you think of ideas that can make things safer? Where would you like a crossing? Do you have any ideas about making the space around the school safer and easier for people to be walking and cycling? Talk to your form tutor who can raise it with the school, who can talk to the council about making things better. What we really want is communities that are optimised for people and not for the convenience of cars. Thanks a lot for having me virtually. Best of luck with your journeys and make sure you stay safe. Thank you. Bye bye.